Tonight we're going to talk about the benefits of healthy eating, and let me just go over a couple basic ones and then we'll kind of jump in. But the benefits of healthy eating, it improves your alertness and your energy. It can also improve your lean body mass. It helps improve your restorative sleep, which we know sleep is very important, and that is when your body heals. It helps you maintain healthy weight, and I love Dr. Barber's maintain lean body mass. I love that. I'm going to use that. Instead of losing weight, we're going to talk about lean body mass. I love that. Healthy eating and nutrition also helps you avoid the hangry time of day. Does anybody know what that is? Yes. What is that? It is the hungry, angry stage that you get at 4 o'clock driving home in Atlanta traffic. So if you are eating well and you balance what you're eating with your complex carbs and your protein and your lots of colorful foods, you can avoid that hangry time of day. It also can give you a strong heart health. Did I say that right? A healthy heart, and it can help with strong bones. And then particularly for tonight, when you're eating well, it's really going to help you prevent cancer and or prevent that recurrence. So we're going to kind of hone in on that and jump into that. But I just love to kind of give that overview because there's no perfect eating plan, right? There's no perfect one food. So it is about moderation and variety. And so I'm going to kind of challenge you with a bunch of new things in that direction. Now, I like to tell some of my clients that your body is like a car. Some of us have some really nice cars and you wash it up real nice and vacuum the inside and put good gas in it and it drives for you. It's great. So your body's like that. What are you putting in your body? Do you know what you're putting in your body? If you're putting good gas in your car and washing it and keeping it clean and healthy, think about your body that way too. You really want to put what you put in your body is going to keep your immune system strong. So you want it to be the best of the best. And I also like to say to a lot of my clients, the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your food is going to be that awesome, healthy, building your immune system type food. And then 20%, that's your birthday cake, right? That's your treat when your child's graduating from high school. So 80-20, think about it that way. Nobody eats perfect, and we're always trying to build a better food plan. When you see me, we will establish small obtainable goals each time you come, because I know that everybody's food and nutrition changes depending on their lifestyle and what they're doing in that season. Based on the American Institute of Cancer Research, which if you are taking notes, AICR.org is a great resource. You can get some crazy information out there, right? But .org are some very good websites, and AICR is a very good one. And they are one of the world's leading authorities in diet and nutrition. A lot of oncology dietitians, I specialize in oncology. A lot of us go there for some up-to-date information. And their bottom line with their nutrition message is surround your nutrition plan around a Mediterranean plant-based diet. So if that's going to be one of my take-homes tonight, write it down, and I love it. Surround your food plan. Fill your house, your refrigerator, with Mediterranean-style plant-based foods. And we're going to get into more detail there, but that's kind of that take-home message. Now, if anybody wants to go to Italy to learn about that Mediterranean diet, I will volunteer and go with you. I will be the first one to sign up. I've been before with my husband. It's fabulous. So let's talk about some particular eating tips to help prevent breast cancer. Number one, think whole food. Okay? The more, let me say this. When a food is in its whole state and it hasn't been processed and put in a bag and smushed up and dried up, you're going to get more nutrition out of it. So think whole food. And the other thing, particularly with breast cancer prevention, is to think low fat. You absolutely want to decrease your animal fat, okay, because that fat and hormones, they go hand in hand. So we want to reduce that animal fat as much as possible. Another thing that you want to do is keep your blood sugars within a normal limit. That is very, very important, particularly in breast cancer prevention. Now, there's a bunch of new research coming out, so heads up if we do some other evenings of these talks. and I'm a part of them. We might even have more information, but there's a lot of new information coming out about night fasting and short-term fasting. Dr. Longo, and in fact, I saw him in a recent cancer nutrition conference, and he was fabulous. So there's a lot of new information coming out about that, because what it's dealing with is, number one, decreasing inflammation, which is a big deal when we're talking about preventing cancer, following that anti-inflammatory, decreased inflammation diet. But the other thing is that it helps control the blood sugars and the insulin levels and something called IGF, insulin growth factor. So stay tuned on that. There's a lot of information about those short-term fasting coming out. Some of my clients, even when we're meeting, they're experimenting with short-term little fasts. They look very different than what you might think of. Oh, I don't eat for 3 weeks and then I drink water. It's nothing like that. It's a lot of very new, up-to-date research coming out with that. Another thing is, don't eat one big meal, okay? Make sure you're eating multiple times a day. That doesn't mean you have to be eating all day long, but it's really not good for your body to eat just one meal, okay? That's kind of too much for your body to take in. I'm a huge educator with gut health, because a lot of your immune system begins in the gut. And so sometimes if you haven't eaten anything and then you overeat in one meal, that's not real good for your gut. So make sure that you're not eating just one big meal. Another tip for prevention is to eat colorful foods. And I know I see a lot of my clients out there, and what's one of the things I say in Cancer Wellness? Eat from the rainbow. You got it. Eat from the rainbow. So if you think about your reds and your oranges and your yellows, I mean, I love food. I'm a foodie, and I'm all about it. And I'm not going to say, red gives you your quercetin and green gives you this and this. But I like to talk about that because each color brings a different phytonutrient, a different antioxidant to the table. So even if you thought about, okay, let me think about my day, right? Individually, just think about your day. Have you had any red today? Have you had anything yellow today? Have you eaten anything green today? So think about your day. I like to use this little chart in my house with my 3 boys, and it's a rainbow, and you check it off. You check it off if you eat a red food that day, or an orange, or a purple, and then you get a little treat. Not a food treat, it's usually stickers. I have 3 little boys. But that is something as simple as that to do in a workplace, right? Or with your family, or with your girlfriends on an app. You put the little rainbow and everybody kind of checks it off. So even just encouraging the people around you to eat well. That little rainbow idea is a really good idea. Adding color to the food, eating from the rainbow. A good cancer prevention tip is 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables a day. I hesitated by saying that because the old recommendation was 5 a day. I don't know if you followed USDA forever and ever and ever. It was 5 a day. But the new recommendation for prevention is 7 to 9 veggies and fruits a day. And I say veggies first because we're heavy on the veggies for cancer prevention, more so than the fruit, because the fruit can raise those blood sugars. So 7 to 9 a day, and the serving size is a half a cup. So if you did that math, that ends up to be about 4 to 5 cups a day. So a salad a day will keep the doctors away because you can get your 3 cups right there, and you can get all your rainbow of colors right there. So salads are great for you. Another thing to do for prevention is to read your food labels of all those packaged foods and those packaged meals, because sugar is hidden. There's a lot of sugar out there. And when you read the food labels and you're aware of what you're eating, right? Like you're feeding your car, you're giving it good gasoline, then you're more aware of what's going in it. Dyes and high fructose corn syrup and soybean oil, those are kind of your big inflammation type processed foods and additives. So let's be real careful with that and just be a good food label detective. Create a healthy food zone. That's a wonderful way for prevention because you're not tempted all the time with the cookies that are sitting there or the sweet treats, but create that healthy food zone within your home and your work environment or your gym environment, wherever you you frequent, try to think about creating a healthy food zone for that environment. Another thing is take small steps. I would never make somebody U-Haul their whole entire nutrition plan. In fact, I don't even like the word diet, right? It's lifestyle changes. It's over time. And that's what we do at Cancer Wellness. Whether you're meeting with me or one of our other facilitators, we're teaching wellness habits. How do you build your immune system? How do you decrease stress? How do you exercise safely? So creating those small obtainable steps, especially with your nutrition, is a big deal. A small step or a small goal might be to eat some more fish. Fish is an anti-inflammatory food. It has omega-3 fatty acids in it. They are very, very popular. A lot of research on them. And maybe you're not a big fish eater, but you might commit to, okay, I'm going to eat it once a week or twice a week. Another small goal might be, let's see, I wrote some down. Maybe you're going to add more beans to your day or your week. So you'll be cutting down some of the animal foods and then adding in some more plant-based proteins. Or maybe another one is you're going to eat that salad a day. So simple little obtainable goals that you can work on, and if you kind of have that healthy zone of people around you, share it. Have that accountability with them. Another thing for prevention is to stay hydrated. And I don't mean with alcohol. Sorry. There is a lot of research out there on alcohol and breast cancer. And the bottom line is that let's put it this way. The World Health Organization says cancer risk in 2014, this is what they said, regarding breast cancer, no alcohol is safe. Okay? Now, since then, a lot of studies have been done. And what they have found is you can have one glass of wine or one cocktail a couple times a week safely, but you do need to know that it can potentially raise your risk. If you're drinking more than that, then you absolutely are raising your risk more. And what I tell my clients is, first of all, talk to your doctor about your risk factors, right? And secondly, let's see why you're drinking and how much you're drinking, because a lot of times you could just switch it to a non-alcoholic drink, like a fun green tea drink or a pomegranate drink. Sometimes it's because it's stressful, right? Oh, I need that glass of wine after my day of work. So maybe it's just changing your routine to adding a little exercise at that time slot. If you do feel comfortable, though, drinking a little alcohol, remember, it's not the alcohol that is the problem. It's a couple factors. Well, first of all, the alcohol does increase the estrogen, so that can be one of the factors. However, the other factor is that usually alcohol makes you eat the wrong foods, right? So whereas you might have had a little more willpower or felt more comfortable with the meal, now all of a sudden you might have some extra treats, so then that could be an issue. And then the other thing is you don't sleep well. And sleeping's really important for keeping your body healthy. So there are some factors there. The final thing, I have two final things, is to eat your slow-release carbohydrates. So that's lower glycemic index foods. That's the brown ones. The brown grains are much better for you than the white ones. I'm sure most of you know that. But those white, starchy foods immediately turn to sugar, okay, which is going to cause a lot of inflammation. So we really, really encourage brown grains. And nowadays, it is so fun. The grains out there, your quinoa, which is actually a seed, and different barleys and oats. You don't have to stick to just rice and bread anymore. I mean, those are old school, right? Now the ancient grains are in. So when you come to our cooking classes, you will absolutely see our chefs get crazy and they get fun and they get exciting with all the different ancient grains out there, because you do get B vitamins from some of those grains, which is energy, so that's good. The final thing is make sure you are up to date and checking your vitamin D. There's a lot of research on vitamin D and cancer prevention, and so make sure that you talk to your doctor about getting that blood test. That is a big deal. A lot of people that will come to me will kind of go over their blood panel, make sure that some of their nutrition-related labs are appropriate, and if they're not, then they go back to their oncologist, and they'll talk about them as well there. So one more thing. Everybody okay? Is everybody hungry? Because I get hungry talking about nutrition at this time slot. if I had one take home, I was preparing for this and I was like, okay, so, I know people are going to ask about kale because that's way in right now, and, soy. Should we do soy? Shouldn't we do soy? So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Research is always changing in nutrition. I mean, I go to sleep and I wake up and it has changed. So feel free to ask questions, of course. The latest with soy is that, yes, it's a gray area. You absolutely do need to be careful with it because there's a lot of fake soy out there, okay? That soy protein, that fake stuff that's in lots of your powdery drinks and your granola bars and your cereals, all those kind of processed foods, that is causing problems because we don't know what kind of lecithin's in it and what kind of plant estrogen is in it. Now your whole soy food, little bits of it, if it's a whole soy food, like organic tofu or organic edamame, you can eat it in small amounts. Where the research kind of gets gray is that it shows a lot of benefits to prevent breast cancer when you are eating soy pre-puberty. So a long time ago for all of us, right? So if we have children and they're eating a little edamame here or a little bit of tofu here, that is showing prevention. But whereas where it changes, where the gray area changes, is that when we've started it later in life, it's not showing as many of the benefits. So it can be like any other food, a healthy alternative to a high-fat animal product, absolutely. But I don't want you switching everything to a soy food, or in the same token, never, ever, ever enjoying just a little bit of edamame with the family. Okay, it is always changing, and it is ebbs and flows. Where we get a lot of that research from is the China study, and they studied the Asian population, and they studied, they didn't have as much breast cancer. But when you really looked into the study, they have been eating whole food soy all their life, right, before puberty. They also drink a ton of green tea, the matcha green tea, which has more EGCG, and that's the plant chemical that we're really driving for that helps prevent cancer. And they also eat a lot of mushrooms. So it wasn't just, hey, let's put a little soy protein powder in my smoothie. It was their lifestyle. So that's why I really encourage, and when people see me, we talk about lifestyle changes and setting small obtainable goals. So your take-home foods, you ready for this? If you're writing down some notes, think G-BOMBs. These are your healthy cancer prevention, breast cancer prevention foods. A lot of my ladies already know these because we go over these in my office. G-BOMBs, your G is your greens. Your B is your berries. Your O is your onion and garlic family, that allium family. There's some brand new research that just came out on garlic. Here's the thing with garlic. If your whole family eats it, then it doesn't matter if anybody's breath smells because it is that healthy for us. So I just make all 5 of us in my family eat it, or all my girlfriends eat garlic in our hummus, and then it doesn't matter. So that is your O, your onion and garlic family. M is your mushrooms. Your other B are your beans. So that's a plant-based protein for you. And your S are your spices and herbs, with turmeric being one of the top ones, one of the top anti-inflammatory spices that we have out there.